So you're going to have to think about marketing your products and services in the overseas markets that you've chosen. And I hope I don't have to tell any of you about the principles of pricing. And I hope that none of you are using that ghastly thing, cost plus pricing. Think about the price in the market, what your people are prepared, what your customers are prepared to pay. That can be very high, it can be very low, but don't miss out on the opportunity of thinking about what the market price is in the different markets that you're operating in, and simply taking whatever it's cost you to make and adding 10% to it. You could be missing out on real opportunities. But thinking about how you're going to promote your products and services, that could be your responsibility. If you're using agents and distributors, it might be their responsibility, or it might be a joint responsibility. You want to think about the media that you might want to use, the channels you're going to use. You certainly want to talk about social media. Everybody knows that there are lots of cost-free ways of getting the message across to your customers, using Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and a whole host of others. In China, there are different ones. In America, there'll no doubt be different ones. But think about using the social media. It's a good way of getting started. It's a particularly good way if you're using e-commerce. Many of you will think that one of the best ways to get started is, I like to say, building a website to export to the world. And it is a really good way to get started. You need to think about some of the regulatory issues here. You need to make sure that the price that you quote is very clear about who is going to pay for what and what the delivery costs are. It is absolutely apparent, is it not, that a piece of artwork that you might be selling transported to Germany is going to be much cheaper than transporting it to Sydney or Hobart in Tasmania. So you need to think about what you're going to do to make sure the difference is clear, and where you click on your website to get that delivery price, and also who's responsible for some of the things we've already talked about, like the import tariffs, and maybe VAT can operate in certain markets, or sales of goods tax. Whatever it may be, you need to be absolutely clear. Very good way, though, to get started. Another good way to get started in marketing is to go to trade fairs. Germany's probably the trade fair capital of the world, isn't it? And it's a great place to do several things. Go and have a small stand there if you like, but you could even go and visit for the first time to do your market research and to understand what's going on. Many businesses, though, will go to a trade fair, an international trade fair, and maybe not even sell to a business coming in Germany, from Germany. You probably go to Germany to meet your Chinese customers, your South African customers, your Argentinian customers, or whatever it may be. So it's a really good way to get lots of customers coming to see you in one place. I always think, though, about marketing. It's really about getting face-to-face contact, and visiting the market is so important. I've used the phrase exporting is fun. Harold Macmillan said that, and exporting is fun, but getting out to market is so important. I think that, yes, you can use a whole series of things to avoid getting to market, but ultimately people want to see the whites of your eyes. They want to shake hands with you. They want to understand who you are. They want to know whether you're trustworthy. You might find that some businesses need you to go once, twice, even 3 times before they'll place that first order. It's about trust. In Chinese, they call it guangxi. It's about relationships. It's about getting under the skin and knowing that they trust you. And one of the best ways of doing that is to go and see people and demonstrate that you've got a commitment to the marketplace by being there and supporting your products and services. After all, they're great products and services. You want to back them up, so get out there and sell them. You want to think about communicating. I'm going to do a separate video about language and culture, so we'll probably come to those issues later. You certainly want to think about cultural differences and different languages and different branding. Again, I'll do a separate video on those. But above all, the key thing about this is think about your pricing. How you're going to promote it. You're going to find the right channels, the right media. You're going to think about the languages you use. You think about trade fairs. You think about using e-commerce, building your website to export to the world. and then making sure that language and cultural differences are taken into account when you're promoting your products and services overseas. Above all, if your customers don't know about your products and services, you may have the best product or service in the world, but if they don't know about it, how the heck can you expect them to buy it? You need to promote, you need to make sure you're out there, you need to make sure you're using whatever channels, media it may be, but make sure you promote your product effectively, because if you don't do it, nobody else will.